Hi, guys. So today we are going to be learning about Native Americans during the Civil War. So your student objective is going to be students will be able to talk about what role, if any, did Native Americans play during the Civil War. So your big question is, did Native Americans play a part in the Civil War, during the Civil War? And if so, why? So here's a quick hook. What do you see in this political cartoon? Look at the background, look at the people in it, look at objects, and just take a moment to think about it and write some stuff down. So we're going to get to the big question and answer that. 28,693 Native Americans joined up as soldiers and served in the Union and the Confederate armies during the Civil War. Now, to make this bold and more clear, yes, Native Americans fought on the Confederacy side and the Union side, even though the Confederacy were the ones who were relocating a lot of these tribes and causing a lot of harm to these tribes in the first place. The Native Americans' loyalty was important to the Union and the Confederacy. They really believed that the Native American involvement in this war would influence the outcome and could influence the outcome of this whole war. On the Native American side, the Native Americans were pretty much joining this war because they thought the Civil War would free them and make them equal to the rest of the United States, and they wouldn't cause as much harm to them anymore. So Native American involvement actually was huge for Elias Parker, and he was a part of a Native American tribe, and he actually drew up the Articles of Surrender in which Robert E. Lee signed and ended the whole Civil War in the first place. So Native Americans did play a big part in the Civil War. Unfortunately, instead of Native Americans being treated as an equal, it led to the division of tribes. And this started before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and also after. And this was mainly due to the fact that some tribes and parted tribes signed treaties with the Confederacy to fight for them and believed in slavery, while others in these tribes or other tribes alone believed in the abolishment of slavery and didn't want slavery around anymore. And you can click the box to read more about the problems that Native Americans faced during this time and the division that they had. So two big key players in the Native Americans, Elias Parker, which we talked about in the last slide, was at the height of his military career during the Civil War. He helping sign this treaty and write up this treaty that Robert E. Lee got to sign was big for this Native American tribe that he was a part of and Native Americans alone because it showed their possibly equality. Stan Wadey, who was part of the Cherokee tribe, earned legendary status as a Confederate sympathizer in brilliant field combat. Now, the problem is he was part of the Cherokee tribe and fought for the Confederacy, and the Confederacy actually was a part of the Trail of Tears, and the Cherokee were too. So Stan Wadey fought for the Confederacy, in which those Trail of Tears caused a lot of death to his tribes. After the war, the two native tribes, the Choctaw and the Chickasaw, actually allowed these white men to come onto the territory to demand land and take possessions and all of that stuff. And American policymakers had to determine what was to be done with hostile tribes that were still around, that were still really resisting this relocation of native tribes that was still happening after the war. And once these tribes were moved, how were these reservations going to be managed so there wasn't a lot of hostility or violence going on? So to show a timeline, the Civil War started in 1861 and ended in 1865. So after 1865, we can see from 1868 to 1898, all of this stuff was still going on, from treaty making being abolished to war still happening and death and even relocation. But we can also see the creation of stuff too. So your activity is going to be, what did Native Americans play a part in the Civil War? And if so, why? And you can name 3 reasons.